5 things I'm doing right now to prepare my garden for spring. What am I doing right now to prepare for spring? I mean, we should be starting seeds and we should be getting stuff in the ground and we should be doing all of these things because right now in South Carolina, it's been gorgeous. But I'm going to share with you what I'm doing right now to prepare for spring, and this is after taking inventory on all of our seeds so that I can go ahead and buy new seeds if I need to. I am using old seeds. Some of my seeds are from 2016. This year I overplanted because the germination rate might be a little bit lower since my seeds that I'm doing for spring is I'm starting to clean out my freezers. I not only take inventory of all the seeds that I have, but I also take inventory of the food that I have left in the freezer and the food that I have left on my canning shelves. This is something that's super important because I can plan out how many plants of each I want. If I still have a lot left over from last year, I might focus on something different. If we've used almost everything, then I may decide to plant even more for next year. Another important thing that I'm doing right now is I'm starting my seeds. But I'm not starting my tomatoes and peppers just yet. It's a little bit early. Right now, I'm working on cabbage and lettuce and broccoli and all those things that still do well in the cool weather. I might actually be just a little bit late, but you know what? That's really okay because I've gotten kind of burnt with frost before. My plants have gotten hit with frost before and it has killed a lot of them. So I am very careful about how early I actually plant. So I've started my seeds for my cabbage and lettuce and spinach and broccoli, but I won't be putting those out until a little bit later. These seeds are about a week old and they're coming along nicely. I'm so excited. This is the first time that I've really had much success with indoor plants. Another thing that we're doing right now is we are letting our pigs rototill part of my garden for me. The pigs are in the new part of the garden, and the new part of the garden hasn't had as much fertilizer as the other parts of the garden. We have chickens, and I use chicken manure in the old part of the garden because it's a lot smaller. You can check out the video right here on how we use our chicken manure in the garden, and it's great, and we do that in the fall, and it breaks down over the winter. I don't have enough chicken manure to cover the entire garden, so right now we're using pigs in our garden. Now, pig manure is hot and so it will burn the plants. So we're not going to leave them in there very long this spring, only probably about 2 weeks, and then we'll move them off so it has time to rest. Okay, here are my 3 little piggies and they are tilling up my ground for me. They are fertilizing while they go, and while they're tilling up, they are eating the roots out of from the weeds. Eat grubs and other things that can be pests in the garden. So I'm just gonna let them be working. They've been in here for about 4 days only, and they've already made pretty quick work of some of this. And I am gonna have them in here for another probably week and a half. Another thing that we're doing to prepare our garden for next year is I'm leaving up the old plants that I've had for the fall and the winter garden and letting the pollinators hibernate in those because they are, they use those to sleep until it starts to get a little bit warmer. I am also leaving any plants up that have flowers. When the pollinators first start waking up, when they first start getting up, there's not a ton of flowers around, and I definitely want to provide them with as many flowers as we can. This is super beneficial because then the more food that there are, the more that they will come around, and when my fruit trees start to blossom, strawberry plants and blueberry bushes start to blossom, they will already have had some food and be in the area. So I'm showing you my messy garden again, and it's got weeds all over, but these dandelions are so important for the bees and the little pollinators that come out early in the spring. This was some arugula that lasted all winter, even through the frost that we had, and it's flowering. One great thing about the flowering arugula is it's not only good for the pollinators, but soon those flowers will turn into seeds and I will be able to collect those and use them for next year. So here are some more weeds in my garden. It looks like a wreck. Right here I'm going to post a picture of what my garden looks like in the spring. It's so much prettier. But These flowers I'm gonna keep out, even though I desperately wanna clean this garden up and start to make it look beautiful again. We're leaving these flowers because they're all over in here, and those pollinators are gonna really appreciate this food. So right here, I also have some broccoli, and I'm just gonna let that go to seed. There's not really much to eat anymore, but if I let that flower and then go to seed, not only will it be good for the early pollinators, but also I will be able to save broccoli seeds for my garden next year, and that is something that I really am starting to do a lot more of. Another thing that I almost forgot to mention that I'm going to be doing this spring is pruning my muscadine vines. These things get out of control really fast, so I'm going to be pruning them. This year I am not pruning my fruit trees. Last year we transplanted them and we pruned them back really far. So this year I'm just going to let them rest. Muscadine vines don't look like a whole lot right now, but this one was going crazy last year, and if I let it continue, it is going to be huge this year. And it is on an end post. We're trying to train it to go inward towards that, and so I'm going to cut this one back quite a bit and then prune the other ones to go the way that I want. So I hope this video was helpful. Comment down below, what are you doing to prepare for spring? Do you live up north? Are you still completely covered in snow? You can take inventory of what you have and start planning for what you need. Spring fever is real. Even here in South Carolina, when the weather is nice, I just can't wait to be back outside. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Every time you like and comment on a video, it really helps us to get the word out. We're just trying to reach as many people as we can to encourage people to grow a garden, raise their own food, raise their own meat, and be as self-sufficient as possible. I hope this was an encouragement to you. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.